Today, the FDA is taking action to remove petroleum-based food dyes from the U.S. food supply and from medications. For the last 50 years, American children have increasingly been living in a toxic soup of synthetic chemicals. The scientific community has conducted a number of studies raising concerns about the correlation between petroleum-based synthetic dyes and several health conditions, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, obesity, diabetes, insulin resistance, cancer, genomic disruption, GI issues, as I've seen in the hospital, and allergic reactions. For example, this Lancet study conducted a randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled study on food dyes and concluded that artificial colors in the diet, quote, result in increased hyperactivity.
And when I went in a few months or about a month ago to meet with a few food companies, I was talking with my staff about these petroleum-based dyes, and I said if they want to add petroleum, if they want to eat petroleum, they ought to add it themselves at home. But they shouldn't be feeding it to the rest of us. And without our knowledge or consent. And unfortunately, we're going to get rid of the dyes, and then one by one, we're going to get rid of every ingredient and additive in food that we can legally address. One of the problems.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our citizens. We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
I'm a sucker for them peanut M&Ms, though. I like them Skittles. Them Skittles and them peanut M&Ms. My M&Ms, them people all over Twitter, man. I'm telling you, on X, Facebook, Twitter is so funny right now, man. But it's happening, y'all. Make America healthy. Oh, man, it's real and it's happening. RFK Jr. is not fucking around. Not effing around. They are not effing around. They said this in the campaign. He said this is exactly what we're going to do. Hey. Oh, boy. Them people posting M&M's, Skittles, and them Patriots posting them Red Hots. Oh, man. What's y'all favorite candy, man? Comment down below, man. But it is actually happening. We got some huge breaking news right now. In U.S. to ban artificial dyes from all food products effective today. Now, I don't want to be considered fake news. Y'all know we just report. We keep it real, truth, and what's actually happening. But it's come out from the FDA commissioner. Trump administration moves to ban essential artificial dyes in U.S. food supply at RFK Jr.'s direction. Eliminate 6 dyes. Red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, blue 2, green 3 by the end of 2026. Yeah. Yes, indeed, man. Establish national standard timeline for food industry move from petroleum dyes to natural. Natural. Y'all understanding? Enemy process to revoke authorization of citrus red 2 and orange B. Requesting food companies remove red 3 sooner than the deadline. Effectively, all petroleum-based dyes to be removed. You know what I'm saying? But cancer, diabetes, etc., going up at alarming rates. Nobody seemed to know why. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Cheers. It's happening right now, man. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. Promises made, promises kept. Whether you like it or not. Love or hate the administration, hate the man. The man is doing exactly what he campaigned on. You know, and some people hate the man because he's doing exactly what he campaigned on. Ain't that some crazy shit? Ain't that some crazy shit? The man is doing exactly. The other politicians came out, you know, the hypocrites, they come out, did the complete opposite. You know, had their hands in the cookie jar. Everybody got paid and can live in a nice big house. You know, fly everywhere on the taxpayer's dime. You know. And the American people hit upside the head. They got to struggle. They got to die. They got to pay their taxes and die and struggle. Unbelievable, man. Killing us off, man. Ain't they? Killing us off, man. The corrupt scam matrix. The corrupt, scam, dark, sick, wicked, evil matrix, man. This is, yeah. Yeah. Pocahontas and AOC. Look at that right there. Pocahontas and AOC. Oh, man. The AI is something else, man. The internet is undefeated. I'll tell you that, man. But this is what M&Ms look like in countries with artificial dye bans. Currently, a whole different upgrade. Never was sure why American food has to look like clown vomit. Here you go, guys. Yeah. You just can't make it up, you know. You just can't, man. Look at the color difference from, you know, the natural dye and the artificial dye. God, Lee. No, but them Fruit Loops. What? After this can't be true, man. What they be posting on this page, man? They dead wrong, bro. They dead wrong. After food dye ban, Fruity Pebbles to be changed to Whitey Pebbles. It's been a long day, y'all. It's been a long freaking day, man. You know, they drag our president through the mud. They drag conservatives through the mud. They drag MAGA through the mud, you know. We just can't get a break, man. They're saying, oh, he doesn't care about the people. He only cares about white people. It's not make America healthy again. It's make America healthy again for white people. They turned everything into the race card, man. Let's play the race game. Oh, man. Me shopping before food dyes get banned. It says a federal judge has ruled that food companies are required to continue using artificial dyes. If this is true, we wouldn't be surprised, man. These judges think they outrank the president. You know, then what the hell is the point of the election? You know, if a judge think they outrank the president. I don't know the time that we're living in, man, you know. But we'll play the full speech before we get out of here. This is RFK Jr., man. And I know y'all have seen the viral video millions of times that went viral this past election with RFK. This video right here.
These days, and develop curve can see that the ingredients and if with tartrazine broth, the health agencies problems and longer lives. It's not all dark over the active and depressed. They left them
longer, better, healthier lives for Americans. And again, we know RFK Jr.'s full mission on this. I don't got to go into repeating myself and playing the same video over and over again. You guys know this, man. And again, I just want to come here and have fun with y'all, man. And just seeing what's being posted and just give you the updates that's happening right now. And this is happening in real time, man. They're doing exactly what they campaigned on, man. We've seen what took place, how the Democrats, how they treated RFK Jr., you know, and how they, and again, we seen what took place this past election, and him then teaming up with Trump and meeting with Trump and talking about a lot of things, and a lot of things him and Trump agreed on, a lot of things they didn't agree on. But that's the point of coming together, man. Unifying, uniting. So Trump and RFK Jr. showed a huge message, that went over a lot of people's heads, man. RFK got hit up, he got a lot of backlash from his own family members. People, his family cut him off, stopped talking to him, giving him hell, even his wife. But as you can see, we all see how this thing played out, man. And him being a part of the Trump administration, being a part of Trump's cabinet. And here we are, Let's get into this full speech before we end out today's video, man. We got RFK Jr. Speech, and this is definitely a worth watching. I'll tell you that. It's most definitely worth watching and hearing, so we'll put it on the screen.
And partner on these issues for over 20 years. Thanks, Vonnie Harry, who's been an extraordinary leader. And then Marty McCary, I'm so grateful that you agreed to join the administration. And Jay Bhattacharya, will you guys come up here and stand behind me? We have an amazing team at HHS. When my uncle was president in the 1960s, we had the healthiest people in the world. And one of the basic assumptions of our country was that because we were robust people, because we were vigorous, because we were tough, we had what my uncle called this beef jerky toughness that was responsible for our country being the land of the brave and the home of the free, the greatest industrial power in the world, the wealthiest country. We owned half the wealth on earth when my uncle was president, and part of that was because of the vigor of our society. And that's one of the reasons he started the Presidential Council on Physical Fitness, because he saw that he felt that Americans were getting soft, and it was going to steal from us and erode all of our leadership, our moral authority, and our values, and our role as an exemplary nation. And since his death, we've had this extraordinary chronic disease epidemic. When my uncle was president, 3% of American kids had chronic disease. Today, it's around 60%. And these are a broad category, the ones that Marty mentioned, like ADHD, the neurological disorders, ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, Tourette's syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, and autism. All of these are injuries that I never heard of when I was a kid. They were not part of the nomenclature. They weren't part of the dialogue. There was zero spent in this country treating chronic disease when my uncle was president. Today, it's about $1.8 trillion annually. It's bankrupting our nation. 74% of American kids cannot qualify for military service. How are we going to maintain our global leadership with such a sick population? We have all these autoimmune diseases, these exotic diseases, and again, I never heard of: juvenile diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Crohn's disease, and 100 others that were just unknown when I was a kid. I never knew anybody with a peanut allergy. I never knew anybody with a food allergy. Why do 5 of my 7 kids have allergies? I never knew of anybody who had eczema. I knew of a very small number of children who had asthma, but that has exploded as well today. And our fertility is dropping dramatically. Teenagers in this country today have the same testosterone levels as 68-year-old men. Our girls are reaching puberty 6 years early, from 10 to 14 years old. And this is existential for our country. And we have to address it. And one of the problems, when I met with, and I want to commend the food companies for working with us to achieve this agreement or this settlement. And when I went in about a month ago, to meet with the food companies, I was talking with my staff about these petroleum-based dyes. And I said, if they want to add petroleum, if they want to eat petroleum, they ought to add it themselves at home. But they shouldn't be feeding it to the rest of us. And without our knowledge or consent. And unfortunately, we're going to get rid of the dyes, and then one by one, we're going to get rid of every ingredient and additive in food that we can legally address. One of the problems is that the industry, which all of these industries, cast a dark shadow historically over this agency. And there's so many conflicts that we are now systematically eliminating. That has allowed them to suppress the science. There's shockingly few studies, even on food dyes, and on all these other ingredients as well. And Jay Bhattacharya, who is here and who is running the director of NIH, is now narrowly targeting these kind of food additives for scientific study, so that one by one we can start eliminating them where they can. Where we can't, there's things that we'll never be able to eliminate, like sugar. And sugar is poison, and Americans need to know that. It is poisoning us. It's giving us a diabetes crisis. When I was a kid, I always say this, a typical pediatrician would see one case of diabetes in his lifetime. Today, it's 1 out of every 3 kids who walks through his office door. In our most recent study from NIH, 38% of American teens, it's half our adult population. This is existential. We are spending as much on mitochondrial disorders like diabetes as we spend on our military budget. We can't continue to exist like this. And the problem is industry is making money keeping us sick. As Jay pointed out, ADHD is associated with all these behavioral disorders. But those disorders are treated not by changing our diet, but providing medications to treat our kids. And they get medicated, and that's the only solution. And, I would point out that there is part of the etiology of these diseases is a kind of media malpractice, a mass psychosis that has our media not talking about this. And one of the possible reasons for that is the amount of money that's coming from the pharmaceutical companies into our media and from these food companies, or the advertising. The advertising has at least plays a factor. So that revenue, that extraordinary revenue stream, in disabling their capacity or their inclination for skepticism and for critical thinking. So Americans don't know what they're eating, and they don't know the implications of those things. And for those products, Mark Hyman says in his book, the 10-day sugar detox diet, which I'll give a plug to, is a very good book. He talks about how dangerous sugar is and how it's as addictive as crack. And our children are addicted to it from when they're little kids. Our agency recommends, I think, a huge amount of sugar for kids from when they're born. And it's hurting them, and it's addicting them, and it's changing their taste buds so that they crave it. And it's disabling our population. So for those ingredients that we can't ban legally, we're going to start informing Americans about what they're eating. And we're going to try to work with Congress and the White House to make sure that we have adequate labeling so mothers who go into the grocery stores know what is good for their children and what is not. I want to say one other thing about the moms. When I went and spoke for the first time, and I met with the heads of all the food industry companies. One of the things that they said to us is that the worst thing for us is if we have a patchwork of legislation in all these different states, because then we're not capable of marketing nationally distributed products, because we're going to have different regulations in every state. And they didn't want that, and that's one of the reasons they came to the table with us. I want to thank Speaker Schultz. I want to thank Governor Morrissey, and I visited many other governors in Virginia and West Virginia, in Arizona and Utah and other states that are having these local bans. Those bans have given us leverage to make demands in the food company, and the only reason that those states have banned these products is because of these ladies and millions of more across the country, the warrior moms who have powered the MAHA movement. And I just want to urge all of you, it's not the time to stop. It's the time to redouble your efforts, because we have them on the run now. And we are going to win this battle. And 4 years from now, we're going to have most of these products off the market, or you will know about them when you go in the grocery store. So I want to thank you. And finally, and most importantly, I want to thank President Trump. President Trump often, says that he's going to make America great again. But he knows that he cannot make our country great again if our country is weak, if we're not healthy, if we don't have vigor, if we're not a robust people. He says that he's going to restore the American dream. And a healthy person has 1,000 dreams. The sick person only has one. And right now, there's 60% of the people in this country who have only one dream, that they can make it through a day without pain, with energy, without having to take medications. And we are going to change that for our country. And I want to thank the moms and thank President Trump for his confidence in my leadership and for allowing me to surround myself with such an extraordinary team of scientists who are going to restore transparency to this agency. We're going to do replicated science. We're going to restore gold standard science so we know what's in our food and we can eliminate it. Thank you all very much.